went to a Christian school for 7 years, K through 6. I didn't know the word legalism at the time, but looking back, that's probably how I perceived it. Was ready to move on. I was ready to go to the public schools and get out of there. It was a traumatic experience in a lot of ways because I had huge insecurities, like I said, about fitting in and being cool. The only way I could cope with that, should have turned to Jesus in hindsight, but I covered it up with pride. I set my sights on Eli Lilly, and I kind of thought that was my ticket to the good life. I ended up getting a job offer, which I went on to accept, and I truly thought, I'm on my way, I've made it. It's a really lost feeling when you get exactly what you want. About 6 months into that job, I started thinking things are not what I expected. About a year in, I left. I was extremely depressed. I felt like that idol of the good life was slipping away from me because here I am, a year out of school, and I'm leaving the dream job that I had. Yeah, poker, my biggest failure. I would call that my rock bottom moment for sure. What led me to it was just the pain that I was experiencing in the professional world, and I would do anything to escape that pain. And I saw these guys on TV that were making millions of dollars a year, and I thought that could be me. But I took a couple months off of work, I did a sabbatical, and I thought I'm going to try to make this happen. I'd come home and just immerse myself behind a computer screen. I'd have 4 or 5 poker tables up at one time and just placing my bets, and I would get extremely angry when the cards didn't fall my way. And I was angry all the time. I was depressed. It wasn't the good life. My uncle had built a lot of relational capital with me over the years. I thought of him as a wonderful Christian man. He came up to me and he asked me, he's like, Matt, you believe in Jesus, don't you? And I truly did. I wasn't living it. I didn't have a relationship with him, but I believed. So my eloquent answer was, well, yes. His next question, I'll remember it forever because it was so non-threatening, and it almost seemed rhetorical, but he asked me, how'd you like to go deeper with Jesus? I was skeptical because I didn't think it would work for me. It's like, who wouldn't want to go deeper with Jesus? If you believe in him, who wouldn't want to go deeper with him? He started having coffee with me once a week. He just started teaching me some spiritual disciplines, to connect with Jesus and build that relationship I didn't have. He said, Matt, I think you should pray and ask Jesus to remove any obstacles that you've placed between you and him. At least pray and ask him for the desire to pray for that prayer someday. And I remember thinking, I'm ready now. If there are obstacles between me and Jesus, I want God to remove them right away. And so I went home, I prayed that prayer that night, and almost immediately, I woke up the next day, and it's not like everything changed, but I noticed a definite difference that my lust for the things of this world, especially money and status and all that, started to cave in. And I used to be sick with envy. We would go boating on Geist, and I'd look at all these expensive homes that was my plan to get someday. I still enjoyed looking at them, I guess, but I didn't have to have them, and I was content in my own life. And from that standpoint, things started to change right away after praying that prayer. Because of the transformation that I had through that experience with one man pouring into me, it was so exciting. I went from a point where it was all head knowledge about Jesus. Then I started to see Jesus everywhere, and that became my passion. Instead of poring over poker books, I was pouring into the Bible, growing in my relationship with God, and the passion that I had, I can't even describe it. And I wanted to share it. I wanted to share it with everybody. And so I don't know, I definitely can look back and see that Jesus had been wooing me from the very beginning. I did. I found the good life, and it was not at all what I was expecting. You find it in the fact that we have a Savior who knows us intimately and loves us deeply. There's nothing that the world can offer that can better that. I'm Matt Teeple, and Jesus is my Savior.